These are monster figures by an Etsy seller who calls himself Stexe. So we're going to take a look at these guys. First, let's look at these three in front here. Now, I ordered these from Stexe, I don't know, 4, 5, 6 years ago. It's been a while. And I thought they were pretty cool. And this is the Tingler. He calls it the Tinglertron. You can see the switch there. It's got a little motor in it. And when you switch it on, you put it on a hard surface, it moves along. I showed that moving in one of my earlier videos. Here is one of the brain creatures from Fiend Without a Face. And it's made of urethane, so it's kind of jiggly. And it's a refrigerator magnet. I always love that thing. Those are great monsters. And this one is a knockoff of the MPC Weird Monsters vampire figure, which looks a lot like the Phantom of the Opera, but it's, according to MPC packaging, that's a vampire. And it's made of urethane. Now, this was a bonus figure that he sent me from that order 5 years ago. And, you know, it's kind of funny because I'm an MPC monster nut, and he had no way of knowing that. I was just a customer, so he threw that in as a freebie with those two. I thought that was really cool. I keep that with my MPC monsters. Okay, now let's get to this recent order. These, of course, this is a Marx Frankenstein from 1963. I've got this here for comparison. Stexe did not make the Louis Marx Frankenstein monster. That's one of the classics. But these are all kind of patterned after that in the same style as the Marx monsters. And they fit right alongside them on the shelf, scale-wise. Okay, here we have, of course, the monster of Pedros Blankus, which is a really fun old horror movie from like 59, I want to say. And this is a great likeness. This is in green, and it's UV reactive. So if you put this thing under a black light, it's going to glow. I don't have a black light, so have to take his word for it, but it certainly looks like with that tint it would glow, and he signed it, all of his figures on the bottom there. Stexe 23, STX. And this is after the famous still from that movie with holding the decapitated head of a victim. And he calls this the troglodyte decapitator of Pedros Blankus. Next, we move on to the closet monster from The Brain That Wouldn't Die. Another one that came out around 1960. And this horrible cone-headed fiend is sculpted pretty well too, carrying his victim there. And he calls this one the drive-in date, which is pretty cool because drive-ins were all the rage back then, and I'm sure The Brain That Wouldn't Die played quite a few drive-ins. Jan in the Pan. Signed STX 23. Now this is in the teal green. You can get these in different colors. This would look good in orange too, but I ordered this in the teal green to see how it compared to the teal blue of the Marx. And as you can see, it's a different tint of teal. The Marx being in teal blue and the Closet Monster being in teal green, but it looks great with the Marx. Great classic B-movie monster. And here's a favorite of mine. the Chlorophyll Monster, aka the Beast of Blood, from the Filipino horror movies, the Blood Island trilogy. And he's in his famous pose from the poster of Beast of Blood where he's ripping his head off. And Stexe calls this one the chlorophyll mutation does a party trick. And that's a pretty good likeness of the Beast of Blood. And he signed it there. Now, a lot of these are in a combination of resin and urethane. And I messaged him before I ordered these to find out if I could get this in green, because the Chlorophyll Monster is most appropriate in green since he had the green blood. So, sure enough, he poured me one in green. You know, the only choice on the site for this is orange. And it would look great in orange. I might get another one in orange. But looks cool in green. And here's the Mushroom Man. Of course, this is from the Toho movie Matango, or Matango. And I got this in the orange for the contrast with the others. But this is a great sculpt too. He sculpts all these in clay. And he makes silicone molds, and then he pours them up in urethane and resin. And he signed his foot. Great Mushroom Man. I think in the US they call this movie Attack of the Mushroom People. It's fun. And here's a freebie that Stexe threw in with my order. This is one of his little cryptid figures. This is the Hopkinsville Goblin. And each one of these comes in a bag with a little card that explains the background of you know, the figure. And they're small, but they're cool. They're not very expensive at all. And that was a freebie. He just threw that in. Here's another little free thing he threw in. This is an advertisement for his Cryptids of North America line. And this looks like a bookmark. Here's a refrigerator magnet. Advertisement there from Stexe. And here's a little sticker. He's also got these smaller figures. I think they're called creature features also, and he calls the big ones in the creature features line, but these smaller ones, I may get those. That's like $30 for all 5 of those, and they're smaller, but you know, they're nice little figures, and they're of great monsters. Anybody into 50s and 60s monsters will recognize those guys there. It Came from Hell and Beulah from It Conquered the World, and The Crawling Eye, and the Hot Dog Monster from let's see, Horror at Party Beach, and I think that's the mollusk from It Conquered the World. Or no, Beulah's from It Conquered the World. What is that mollusk from there? Anyway, it's a cool one. And that covers that. I'm going to show you what they look like on the shelf. Okay. I'm trying to turn my laptop into an impromptu camera, a movie camera, but anyway, yeah, here we go. Refrigerator magnets. There's the thing without a space, or a face. He's got a space. It's right there, but he don't have a face. Okay. And we will swing around, and head this way. There's the Tinglertron, along with a bunch of other stuff. Yay, Beast of Blood. And I wanted to show this. First of all, there's the NPC shelf. Now right there is the little NPC vampire that I showed earlier, in behind the green ones there. And it looks very much like the original red ones that came in the NPC checker set. But he's back there with them, one of the gang. And there's my Marx monsters. And I wanted to show that shelf because it's too full. I wanted to display the Stexe monsters with the Marx monsters, but just too full. I couldn't cram them in there with any kind of reasonable display, so forget that. And let's see. Yeah, there's none over there. So let's see. Let's head this way. This is where the Stexe monsters proper are hanging out. Get this Jack Davis Frankie out of the way. And there they are. The Stexe monster shelf. And I can get a couple more on there. Then I'll have to go to another shelf for when I get more Stexe monsters later on. So I'm going to put a link to Stexe Etsy shop in the description of this video. Figure I might as well show some of this stuff since I'm panning around. See what they look like at a distance there. Way cool. Really like those things. Fit in great with the Marx monsters. But I'm going to put a link to Stexe Etsy shop in the description of this video. And if you guys are interested in checking out his stuff, then by all means, do so, because it's great. And that's it for now. I'm out of here.